All right, boys, welcome back to our next episode of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Oh, she's still here. I mean, I did save and close the game and turn it back on. Can we hit on her again? Wait, let's read the thing. Secret gallant of conduct, how to hit on a noble lady. An admirer who seeks the favor of a fine lady is well advised to maintain pointed courtesy and finesse in his every deed. An honorable admirer will never defile a noble lady's ears with crude or indecent words, and neither will he allow himself conduct that could besmirch her honor and dignity. Above all, the admirer should remember that a relationship begins with the right choice of words. Shower your lady with compliments that will accentuate her finest qualities without putting her in a position of discomfort. All right, good enough. No, we're not gonna hit on her now. Back to the bridge. We need to find a tech priest, engine seer, or we need to or recruit a bunch of dudes. A bunch of menial dudes. So let's take a look at the map. As soon as the game loads, please. And we will see where we can travel to. There's a prison, or prison colony. Weren't there other people that wanted to talk to us? Damn. He's down there. Master Helmsman. Do I need to talk to any of these people? Let's talk to the high factotum. Greetings, your lordship. Janris Danrock out of service. My retinue and I are in need of training. We'll show you our sparring chambers at once. Select a character to reset. Oh, okay. That's how we respec. Okay, we are here. We can go to Owlcat Majoris. We can go to Unknown Symbols. Oh, the prison planetoid. Owlcat Minoris, or there's a void ship. Let us go to Majoris. The closest one. Begin scan. Scanning. Extracting. A mobile mining outpost assembled in accordance with the blessed standard template construct. This small industrial complex can be deployed on practically any world, however inhospitable. The Surf clan assigned to it will devote itself to the maintenance of its sacred mechanisms and the extraction of resources needed by the... Okay, so we have none. But if we had some, we could drop a mining thing on here. So there's nothing on that planet. So let's go to Owlcat Philia, the prison planet. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Vorsarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Motherfuckers. We're trying to... We got more important business here. Whoever this man is, execute him. Find a replacement. Who is this? The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice, the loudest of all. It's not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a high-born brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. A real event. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a higher-ranking officer would be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avril Event requesting permission to speak. Then falls silent and then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. Now listen to what you have to say. Speak, Lieutenant. The matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to lower decks on order to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. I didn't even know there was a workers' strike. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wersarian, to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She has clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she is finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then at you. There's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship and no one has informed me? I would not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order, but even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. But on the ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure that if the rogue trader addresses the malcontents directly, he will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem you will disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you will ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room? I have already given you the means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your lordship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. How did this all start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to a head. Where does the Seneschal Wersarian come into all this? I shall explain, Abelard. I beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry. Since my competence is under scrutiny, I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There's an established order to the way things are done in this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It's the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. I like Abelard. I don't want to undermine him. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Wersarian. Wait. He's... Oh, is Abelard Wersarian. Oh. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishment for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink. Now there's a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. What is Depot 4? Depot 4 is one of the poorest sectors on the lower decks. It is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialized systems for generations. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now more besides giving succor to cultists and minions of the arch enemy. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rock-up brewing. We've handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-on effect to all the neighboring sectors. Abelard, see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You'll see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way, you will stop the uprising before it begins. I am certain the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions for myself. Throne Professor, I thank you for my support. Abelard grits his teeth slightly. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Yeah, come with me, dude. We're taking everybody. Oh, does that mean we get more people? We can bring like 6 people, but we can have more than 6 in our retinue? Damn. Yeah, I mean, Abelard did the right thing, but you know.
It's about time.
Wow, nobles from the upper decks. Oh. Hey, it's Forsarian. Take that, scum. Look who it is. It's all his fault. All of it. Oh, no. Abelard. Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startling human gesture, and a telling one. Rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. People dared to disrespect a senior officer. They would not have the chance to express such disrespect if we were not here, if the situation had been dealt with by the relevant officers. It is a junior officer's worst failing to pass problems up the chain of command. I have never been able to abide by it. I shall say it again. It was a mistake to come here on Lieutenant Vince whim, Lord Captain. I must admit that the lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer. But in the name of terror, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter, and she has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down cultists. It'll be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Did you hear? They were shouting your name. Of course they were. The organization of the daily routine life of the ship rests upon my shoulders. Alright, let's keep moving. We're not going to, something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation material. This must be where the workers sleep between shifts. Valve? Huge pipe, the arteries of the...
see our purpose in coming here.
The arteries of the ship
Relax, old man.
run through many
Going
bays,
for a
delivering
stroll on the
air,
lower
water,
decks
heat,
every
and the
once in a
propulsion
while is
force of
good for
steam.
you. Lets you see how the simple folk live.
Wow, nobles from the upper decks down here to see us. Sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's base. Lieutenant Vent of the Ships and Forces is barring the path of a heavily built assault unit officer. Judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached boiling point. I have my orders. Put an end to the unrest and purge this sector. You can take your orders and shut... This lieutenant's kind of pushing it, man. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without express permission. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. But not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard mutters in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Lieutenant Vent, the officer looming over her, or both. Your lordship. I want to speak to the strikers. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Guess we're going over here. Okay. A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd. An elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Tell me, what is troubling you? Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your lordship. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. They want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole bays for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of these enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. Stager. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no fellow feeling towards us. The grim man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your lordship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. The persecution started apropos of nothing you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The gewgaw they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. I know. I mean, I can't do like an insight check, but it's these answers are a little fishy. And as for this amulet or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever tread these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots really were fine. And there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor. And when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch enemy's creations? Weren't you warned about any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. Last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I'd had my 3rd little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavengers who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Abelard, do you have anything? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. Specific steps taken by these officers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the worker's presence. Sorry, man. Didn't mean to call you out in front of them. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. He's not wrong. Fucking Conrad's still in the ship. We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here, like that one there that the lieutenant won't let pass. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who've had just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. The death squad has just arrived. No wonder folks are lashing out. Their words seem sincere. Their body language and the glances traded between them revealed that the news of the attack has shocked them. What changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us Bildreds what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old man. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks, too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day is out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' bodies, and we'll talk to them. One lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. I like Stager. I don't like the old woman. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the anointed one turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. Tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. Yeah, I don't want to give them weapons. Coercion. Succeeded. The tall worker they call Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old Nan, listen. The Lord Captain himself has come down to us and is offering concessions. And I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old Nan. The three clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. Two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave you are against an old woman, but I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against two clan leaders of my own. I want to make peace with the enforcers. Make your peace. That's great, just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. Persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining ambulance or weapons left by the cultists. Your Lordship, thank you. You've not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. Of course, your Lordship will root out any nasty business. Okay. What's going on back here? Goods. Taking their goods. Heat sinks. What's with the valves? Oh, I guess the valves are if we were gonna
Follow my lead.
persecute them. Do we explore everything? Over here. Door.
A new challenge for me?
I'm still new to the art of
What is
exploring.
this? Frenzy? Why are you frenzied? Back here. I will hunt these cultists down myself. Why are they all frenzied? Beside the box, a string of scratched letters runs along the edge. Different first names, but the same surname. Looks like this box is passed down in the family from generation
I'll
to
lay
generation.
claim to the stars.
All right. I think we found everything. Let's get the heck out of here.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Abelard. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companions, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Yes. Abelard looks at you and his last vestiges of restraint vanish. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? Kowtow to the disloyal rabble. Believe their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of Von Valances? Do not speak to me in that tone. I'm obliged to speak thus. Who else can point out your errors and offer you counsel? I don't wanna. Oh man, I don't wanna have a bad relationship with Abelard. He's my man. Why are you so? Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember Lord Captain Theodora? Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. Looks at us stunned and exhales loudly. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. The prosperity of the Von Valancius Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It's the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds, they create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredible reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come to a grievous blow to me. Blah, 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 blah. Theodora trusted and established procedures and she died. I won't make the same mistake. If you want to keep building the future of the Von Valancius Protectorate with me, stop living in the past. I understand you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world, or world where Theodora's gone, and where you and I have new decisions to make. Damn. Yo, hats off to whoever wrote this game. You did a lot of writing. The prosperity of the Von Valencia Protector is just important to me. You are the only person who has comprehensive knowledge of how things are run on this ship. I think in the future I will follow your recommendations. I value what Theodore created, and I trust that this situation is an aberration in the ship's otherwise smooth operations. Since the established procedures are working, I like the first one. Stop living in the past. Yes, Lord Captain. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now, please, let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. Yeah, please, get me out of this hellhole, man.
None shall stand in my way.
Get me out of this shithole. Get me to the prison planet. We're going to another shithole. Come on, game. Okay, back to the map. And a loading screen. Begin scan. Wait, what is this? Is this the prison? The prison planetoid. Okay, let's go. Every 10 points in strength has +1 damage to melee attacks. Also affects the athletic skill. Rykadi Philia, the prison planetoid. What do we find here? There's another shuttle. Goods? Don't know what to do with the goods just yet. Pilot Raquel? Come in, escort. This is Captain Vakari. Escort, please come in. Pale young woman looks at you with a mixture of hope and disbelief swirling in her eyes. You notice her hands trembling as she clutches her weapon. Who are you? Did you come from the planet? Are you reinforcements? Saint's teeth, I thought you'd never come. Abelard, teach this woman a lesson. Abelard glares at the woman, his brow furrowing. Officer, the person before you is Creamy von Valancius, our rogue trader. Although you are, from what I gather, a subject of another dynasty, you would do well to introduce yourself with the proper decorum. At once, sir. Captain Raquel Vakari, servant of House Winterscale and the pilot of the shuttle. It's an honor to be greeting His Lordship von Valancius. What happened here? Been a prison riot on the planetoid. Sadly, it is being led by the prison warden himself, the Honorable Anathagon Casteglia. Has allied himself with the rabble that he himself was supposed to watch and declared Rykadi to be independent of the authority of the system's lawful governor. Came here as a shuttle pilot alongside the Honorable Yvain Winterscale, son of Caligos Winterscale, rogue trader, vanquisher of Xenos, forever triumphant over the enemies of humanity. The details enunciating every word of her overlord's title. Young Lord Winterscale wishes to speak to the warden personally so he could put an end to this lawless treason. He and his escort went ahead and... She grows paler. I haven't been able to contact them over the Vox for a very long time now. Yvain. One of his distant younger offspring, yes. That's as much as I know about him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. Yvain Winterscale has made several diplomatic visits to Urak 5 on behalf of his father, rogue trader Caligos Winterscale. The great regent would not have granted entry to someone dishonorable, which means whatever happened in this terrible melodious place, we must aid this man of noble blood. How would he parlay? The personal manner. Master Castaglia, the seditious warden, is Lord Yvain's childhood friend. When my lord here heard of the riot, the news saddened him greatly, and so he rushed here without delay, in hopes of bringing his old friend to his senses, no doubt. First Winterscale in my memory who prefers to talk first rather than shoot and slash. She smiles faintly. Young Lord Winterscale is not his father's shadow. He is determined to save his friend. He won't back down. I pray to the throne that he is alive and well. He's been gone for such a long time, and I really don't like this place. Cassia frowns. Theobald executed his wife and only son on the mere suspicion of treason against House Orselio. So why did the noble Yvain rush to save someone who had betrayed his house? Do bonds of friendship give one the right to make inexcusable mistakes? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna be able to remember names. There's so many names. I'm looking for a man by the name of Heinrich van Kalix. He's here, perhaps? Unless it's one of the prisoners or guards, then it seems unlikely. There are no shuttles in working order other than yours and mine. There's nothing else anyone could have used to reach this place. Anything else that should be apprised of? Some of the rebels have holed up in the barracks. I don't know how many, but given this is the only way through to where the negotiations are taking place, I would expect heavy resistance. Please take caution, your lordship. Lord Winterscale's guards mine the entrance so that the rebels couldn't get to this shuttle. Excuse yourself, pilot. Woman freezes for a moment before asking hesitantly, your lordship, if I may have a minute of your time, I wouldn't ever have dared to trouble you with a personal matter, but the situation... In any case, have you been to the capital of Rykad Minoris yet? I wanted to ask if you saw a man there, a communications officer by the name of Jaspar. What is your relationship to this man? We are engaged, your lordship. I have not yet been to Rykad Minoris and know nothing of this officer's fate. It's a shame. May the Emperor keep that fool from harm. Thank you for your time, your lordship. She bows. You can tell by the desperation in her eyes that she is exhausted, frightened, and wishes to be off this planetoid as soon as possible.
Over there.
Crap.
I better myself through my service.
Guard post has been vacant for a long time. There's a layer of dust on every surface.
Follow my lead.
Oh, we leveled up. God damn.
We shall prevail.
Level up again? One friendly creature within four officer increases an ally's resolve by blah blah blah. Targets on the effective voice command will start the next turn with +1 additional action point. Get back in the fight. Officer encourages an ally who immediately recovers from burning, bleeding, toxic, and stunned effects. Oh, I like that. Target is under the effective voice of command. They also gain temporary wounds. Yeah, let's get that. That seems good, actually. Get into cover seems good. Injury, no. Get into cover. Perfect timing seems good. Yeah, let's do get into cover, because then we can use get into cover on like Abelard. Give him more movement. Get you some more weapon skill. While under 40% wounds, Imperial War characters, nah. Nah. 10% crit hit chance and 10% armor against Xenos or demonic creatures. Their allies gain half the bonuses of No Heresy. However, Imperial War characters, Lord Xenos and Lord War are always 0. Maybe? I mean, he's not really the one I need to know that lore. All allies excluding Xenos in the current party gain +5 to the same characteristic as was chosen for humanity's finest. Yeah, let's give him 10% crit and 10% armor. And then he'll have his negative 170 warp and Xenos. Joint analysis. For the operative's next turn, their allies attack also remove exploits and deal plus int bonus more damage. For the next attack against a target affected by an exploit, that target's cover efficiency will be reduced. Attack will have increased chance. Foreboding. Creates an area that lasts until the start of the Psyker's next turn. All allies within that area gain dodge. The dodge chance cannot be less than something. Prescience. Target gains intelligence, perception, fellowship, and willpower. Dominate. Wait, this is like a chaos thing, isn't it? Is that what that means? Oh no. These are like buffs. Yeah, these are friendly and these are for enemies. Move as close as possible to the Psyker. I don't know about that. You can blind them. Pyromancy. Maybe? Concentration of faith. What is this? Oh, so if we pick that, prerequisites, dominate or sensory. I think, no, okay. I thought we had to like pick one of these to get. Huh. Psi rating +1. Perfect timing or precognition. Prescience or foreboding. I kind of like the sensory deprivation. We can blind. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. What are you good at? Logic? No. Tech use? No. Awareness? Lore warp. Yeah, let's do lore warp. Can't do any more ballistic skill. Agi, perception, strength. Let's increase your strength. Makes sense. Melee, flame, and melt attacks against demon psychers deal additional damage and armor pen. Such attacks against Xenos deal an additional +3 damage and gain armor. Okay. %3 chance to ignore. No, let's do Flensing Face. Yeah, I want to give her a Flamer or Melt again. Planning for the future. Ooh, I like that. Held in my gaze. Yes. Ooh, waking. Zone of fear. This movement triggers attacks of opportunity. Interesting. No, let's get held in my gaze. They become immobilized. Every even turn. Oh my god, there's so much stuff, dude. Veil of protection. Okay. Oof.
Victory
To the
awaits.
barracks. Where I think we're gonna have a combat.
We should deal with this.
Idira, is there something you wish to tell me about? Namely, the mess in the wardroom last week.
Ugh, stop blaming me every time one of the officers flies off the handle, old man.
Reigns of
Not
a
every
meal,
brawl
one
or
far too
disaster
lavish
on
for
the
even a
ship
hard
is
world, let alone a
because of
prison
me.
colony. Long strings of names extend beneath the heading top quarry workers of the cycle.
Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay. Carry the Emperor's will as your torch. Duty prevails.
Okay, I didn't think you were gonna fucking walk through the trap.
Injuries will not slow me.
Thought the game would just, you know, pick the best route. Prison Diary of Atishan. We'll read that next time. All to cargo. Wait, sorry. Scraps of typical prison food repulsive to the senses. Venerable optimates, the best among us. The list is faded and the names are barely legible.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Oh. Going on. Oh.
Take a knee and bow
Cassie is an officer
before
in your
me.
ship's navigator. She strikes foes with energies of the warp and supports the party by making her allies stronger. Okay. So Argenta will go first and Cassie will go first. Oh, we've been ambushed, so I can't predetermine their positions. Where else? Over here? We shoot through the thing? Yes, you can. We shoot here?
Faith without deeds
Kill
is
them.
worthless.
You're supposed to peek around the corner, man. I thought she would like... okay. Alright. Okay. That's how the game works. Well, creatures in a cone in front of the navigator suffer a bunch of damage. And they become stunned. If
Emperor,
I feel like
give me
hiding behind
strength.
cover is like bad then. Okay,
Me?
kill all these men.
If you
Face the Navigator's might.
Sheesh. Okay.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Good work, Cassia. Oh, a grenade? Yeah.
Cover me.
Was that you? Or no can do. On it.
Show me what you've got.
Can I
Ow.
fall back now?
Oh, she has like no HP? Why did she take so much damage?
Chaos guides me.
Oh, these are some chaos dudes. Okay.
I don't have time for this.
Oh, my gun is only single shot now.
All too easy. Opposing me
Yeah, I thought-
was your biggest mistake.
Wait, how come Abelard didn't go?
Guided by faith. I refuse. I will not.
Oh, this is the bonus movement. I see.
Be careful not to cross my gaze.
I need you to get into cover. I want you to get hurt.
What is this foreboding?
Dodge.
At your beck and call.
Come on, Abelard.
I serve the ruinous powers.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. Eradicated. Each strike is a
Nice. We got momentum.
Step aside. The Navigator is coming. Me. If you intend to die with grace, at least.
Damn.
Crush
She is strong. Ow.
Stop it! They who discern the future own the battlefield.
Oh, that moves me. Good shooting, dog.
Nothing I can't do.
Get Argenta to go again here. Kill this guy. Oh, we need to get her a better weapon.
A tactically sound approach. It will be done.
How are you still alive?
Victory is imminent.
I'll do it.
Kill this man. Good work. Okay, bunch of knives. What is this? Force grenade? Chainmail. Found a consumable. Okay. Cages have been placed in plain view of the beds. Inside are traces of blood and excrement. Bare beds made from metal sheets swing back and forth on rusted chains. Whoever is forced to sleep on them, it would not take much for them to fall. Beds here are bolted to the floor. Some have thin, torn bed sheets and even tattered pillows. Okay. Something was over here. No? Yeah, goods. More knives. Gas cloud grenade. Okay, okay.
Argenta, don't you find it difficult to be without your sisters? You are a soldier without a squad.
I will fight alongside my sisters again. But my present fate is not a burden
Whoa,
to
there's
me.
a lot of bodies.
No matter where I go,
prison guard
who
key.
I am with, I bring death to heretics. That is what matters.
What's going on in here? Chopped up slabs of flesh have been thoroughly washed of any blood.
The premonition runs true.
Yeah. Symbol of chaos. Severed human body parts.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Anything in here? Judging by the number of horrid morsels, dozens of victims were slain here. Oh, there's like meat hooks and stuff, I see.
It's about time.
Well, it seems like there's some chaos dudes here. But we'll find out more in the next episode. Thank you for watching, guys. Next episode will be out tomorrow, same time, same place. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, please. All that little stuff helps. I love you all. Hope you're having a great week. I will see you all very, very soon.